The topic in unit 2 is we are going to see some of the actuators like LED, pi camera and then switch. First, LED, input output device. LED abbreviation is light emitting diode. It is an output device for visual indication in any embedded systems. LED can be used as an indicator for the status of various signals. Examples, the presence of power conditions like device on, battery low or charging of battery for a battery operated handheld embedded devices. LED is a PN junction diode and it contains an anode and a cathode. For proper functioning of the LED, the anode of it should be connected to positive terminal of the supply voltage and the cathode to the negative terminal of supply voltage. The current flows through the LED must limited to a valve below the maximum current that it can conduct. A resistor is used in series between the power supply and the resistor to limit the current through the LED. So this is the diagram for the LED. VCC power supply is the another pin, it is connected to the ground, and this is the resistor. Next, 7 segment LED display. The 7 segment LED display is an output device for displaying alphanumeric characters. It contains 8 light emitting diode segments arranged in a special form. Out of the 8 light segments, 7 are used for displaying alphanumeric characters. The LED segments are named A to G and the decimal point LED segments named as DP. The LED segments A to G and DP should be lit accordingly to display numbers and characters. The 7 segment LED display are available in 2 different configurations, namely common mode and common cathode. In common anode configuration, the anode of the 8 segments are connected commonly, whereas in common cathode configuration, the 8 LED segments share a common cathode line. So this is an picture of 7 LED segment. So as we have seen, common anode LED display, common cathode LED display. So based on the configuration of 7 segment LED unit, the LED segment anode or cathode is connected to the port of the processor or controller in the order A segment to the least significant port pin and DP segment to the most significant port pin. The current flow through each of the LED segments should be limited to the maximum value supported by the LED display unit. The typical value of the current falls within the range of 20 milliamps. The current through each segment can be limited by connecting a current limiting resistor to the anode or cathode of each segment. Next type of actuator is push button switch. Push button switch is an input device. It comes in 2 configurations, namely push to make and push to break. The switch is normally in the open state and it makes a circuit contact when it is pushed or pressed in the push to make configuration. In the push to break configuration, the switch is normally in the closed state and it breaks the circuit contact when it is pushed or released. So the push button stays in closed or open state as long as it is kept in the pushed state, and it breaks or makes the circuit connection when it is released. The push button is used for generating a momentary pulse. So this is the diagram for a push button. Next actuator is pi camera. There are now several official Raspberry Pi camera modules. There are several Raspberry Pi modules. The original 5 megapixel module was released in 2013. It was followed by an 8 megapixel camera module 2 which was released in 2016. The latest camera module is the 12 megapixel camera module 3 which was released in 2023. The original 5MP device is no longer available for Raspberry Pi. So next, all of these cameras comes in visible light and infrared versions, while the camera module 3 also comes as a standard or wide FOV module for a total of 4 different variants. Left picture is camera module 3, right picture is camera module 3 wide. So how to connect camera to Raspberry Pi? These are the steps for connecting the camera to Raspberry Pi. The flex cable inserted into the connector labeled camera on the Raspberry Pi, which is located between Ethernet and HDMI ports. The cable must be inserted with the silver contacts facing the HDMI port. To open the connector, pull the tabs on the top of the connector upwards and then towards the Ethernet port. The flex cable should be inserted firmly into the connector with care taken not to bend the flex at too acute an angle. To close the connector, push the top part of the connector towards the HDMI port and down while holding the flex cable in place. So this is the schematic diagram of Raspberry Pi CSI camera connector. So as of now, in the part of this unit, we are seeing what are some of the actuators. How to connect it, how it will function will be detailedly known in the further units like unit 4, unit 5. We have implementation of sensors, implementation of actuators. There you will get to know in detail how you are going to use it. Thank you.